The days of the past, where you could pick up any local girl and marry her, are over. In the modern day, we're constantly bombarded with the idea that staying single is the best path to take for our well-being and safety. Countless men nowadays strictly avoid relationships due to the constant fear of rejection, abuse, and heartbreak. It's safe to say that this fear is completely justified. As we have said on this channel in the past, the modern dating market is a dangerous place for men more than ever before. In the past, you would see a local girl walk past your house and could marry her without having another thought about her past. But these days, even the most religious girls who you never thought would be promiscuous turn out to be that exact same way. They might put up a small religious verse in their bio, but once you find out their reality, it's nothing but total filth. Brothers, here's the harsh reality. Getting the wrong girl can easily be your downfall. But at the same time, getting into a healthy relationship is probably one of the best things that can happen to you. As we always say on this channel, never be on the extreme end of anything. You don't want to be on the so-called hardcore red pill side that only talks down on every woman. And at the same time, you don't want to be oblivious to reality, where you believe that every other girl is perfectly right and righteous. You need to have a clear mind when accessing these situations and stay neutral. Most men forget that a relationship is not supposed to be a mere endurance test, but a source of support and encouragement towards your success. In fact, for some men out there, a relationship can be their turning point towards the correct path in life. As a single man, when it's time for you to cross that path of getting with a woman, stop yourself first and think rationally. Don't let the extreme hardcore red pill side affect you. Likewise, don't let the brainwashed elders who are oblivious to the total reality force you into a relationship. Think of your relationship like an investment. Let's say there are two people called Joe and Insa. Both of these people invest $50,000 into different assets, but Joe makes a bad call and loses it all. Imsia, on the other hand, triples his earnings. Now, let me ask you a question. Is it wise to say that investing is all wrong? Well, according to Joe, it is. In fact, since he lost all his money, he might even go around telling people how investing is all just a gamble. But you know that the problem is not in investing itself, but what you invest in. Same is true to your relationships. The problem is not with relationships themselves. This is why I said before, don't let yourself be affected by the extreme red pill side that talks down on relationships themselves. Instead, learn to understand that the real problem is in the type of woman you choose. It all comes down to you and your choice. This is what it means to be stoic, to understand that everything is in your control at the end of the day. I will make a bold statement here. Most men who end up in these unhealthy relationships are not unlucky, but simply ignorant. Why? Simple. Because these men are totally oblivious to the simple rules of dating that we are about to discuss. Let's check out 5 of them. Number 1. Understand that she can leave you at any time. As a traditional virtuous man, it's common to desire a woman with whom you can have an ever-present safe space, and that she'll always be reliable for emotional support. And there's nothing wrong in that. But as I said before, the dating marketplace is more cutthroat than ever. If you end up choosing the wrong partner, then always be ready for her to leave you at any time. Think about Bill Gates and Jeff Bezos. What do both of them have in common? They both had wives that left them without a second notice, took all their money and wealth. Before you get in a relationship, you need to face the reality that she may not be the so-called soulmate, and that you two might not be together forever. This truth might hurt and confuse some of you, but the fact still remains. Attachment is a deadly poison that will render you weak on the long run. This isn't to say that you shouldn't attach yourself to her completely, but if you begin to see signs that she is ready to move on, then don't let that attachment act like a rope that she can drag you around with. Remember, if your relationship keeps hitting dead ends at the start, then as a man of value who knows his worth, you shouldn't be afraid of ending the relationships. You might think, oh, it's just the start, things will get better. But ask any man who has been through a breakup. The signs of a bad relationship are clear from day one. Number 2, respect yourself more than anything. This goes to all the men who have had a hard time with dating in the past. Most, if not all, unhealthy relationships can be easily avoided by holding yourself to high standards, along with working hard every day to be worthy of them. Always remember, you must see yourself as your own best friend in every aspect of your life, including your relationships. Stay committed to your growth like the masculine man you're supposed to be, and never accept submission from others. You must navigate your love life with self-respect and pride in order to achieve the rewards you seek from it. I have seen far too many men stay in a relationship only for the reason that they don't want to be alone. That's one of the weakest excuses you can come up with as a man. Never sacrifice your precious time for someone who doesn't respect it. If you follow your own path to success, you'll begin to experience much better dynamics with the women you date, along with the value of building yourself into a strong, respectable man. Number 3, she's a reflection of you. I can see a trend going on of men complaining and blaming women for being the cause of the current dating crisis. I can definitely say that some of these claims are valid, but the majority are utter garbage. Why? Because the partners you get with are solely based on your level. Think of yourself like a magnet. You attract people based on your attraction level. If everything about you resonates low magnetic attraction, then guess who you are attracting? Only the weak. The better you are as a man, the better the woman will be who accompanies you on your journey. This might sound hard to accept, but I am asking you to take some responsibility in your dating life. Really think about what could be your own flaws and how they can be reflected upon your partner. For example, some men love partying and going to nightclubs. That's their flaw. And most often than not, they end up marrying a dancer from the club. Just think about that. How can you expect someone who loves putting themselves out there to automatically want to submit to you as a good housewife? How can you make decisions like that and come back crying that I can't find a good woman? This might be an extreme example, but take a careful look at your life. It goes back to the example of the investment. Ask yourself, am I making the right investment or an investment that would blow my bank? And remember, never be afraid to want more from your relationships. The only thing stopping you from having what you want in life is the work you have yet to do. Always keep that in mind. Number 4, never be obsessed. This is a surprisingly common mistake that men can't help but keep making nowadays. They're so weakened by the feminine social programming that they turn incredibly needy and obsessed with their partners. The one key aspect about masculinity is to focus on work and progress, and these victims of society fail at that completely. Never fall for the mistake of filling all of your thoughts with "and for her." I'll say this again. You must focus primarily on yourself and your goals regardless of your romantic situation. Get it right into your head that as a man, your job is to level up relentlessly while being obsessed with doing so. In fact, here's how the basic structure of the family looks like according to the Bible. First comes God, then the man, then the woman, and then the children. Meaning, as a traditional virtuous man, your primary target is to serve your Creator and do works for Him. Only after this prime purpose does the woman hold a place in your life. So start working harder and harder each day so that your brain can adjust to its natural, masculine frame and recover from all the conditioning it received. The more virtuous work you put in to serve your purpose, the more she will respect and love you. And finally, number 5, think long-term. The one thing you must keep in mind before you get into a relationship is to ensure that she's the kind of woman you actually want to be with. So many men begin and end relationships with the mindset that any and all of them will eventually fail. Of course, I am not saying that you should be oblivious to the fact that your relationship may end. But start by understanding that whenever you start a relationship on the wrong foot, you know it's not going to last. Another common mistake related to this is men getting with women just to satisfy their emotional and sexual needs, only to discard them once the ego boost is over. I know that most of you hate us talking about God. But keep in mind that at the core of your masculinity, God has blessed you with love and sex to ultimately cherish Him and His faith. So don't pervert your core principles with mindless relationships. The woman He has chosen for you must be respected and loved truthfully, without fear or perversion. Put effort into making the relationship work as much as you can, without sacrificing your purpose, and let her go if she turns out to not be good enough to do the same for you. But that will only happen once you have held yourself to that same level of accountability first. So remember, brothers, the way to success with women is paved with sweat and blood. In the olden tribal times, men would select women, and women would only choose to be selected by men who had a name for themselves, who were successful hunters, and so on. So keep this in mind as a single man. If you wish to one day be with a partner who can compliment and respect you, you must start working hard today. And when you do get with her, don't forget these rules of the dating game. By the way, don't forget to show some love. Tap that subscribe button and hit like for the algorithm. To see the next best way to level up as a man, watch these videos here.